أهلا بكل الذين ينضموا للاستماع إلى راديو بلدي، أول راديو عربي أمريكي ويعنى بقضايا العرب في المهجر. برامجنا في راديو بلدي كل يوم جمعة من 8 وحتى 9 صباحا مع ليلى الحسيني في بث حي ومباشر عبر WNZK راديو 690 AM. صباح الخير بلدي، صباح الخير لكل مستمعينا.
Welcome to Radio Baladi, the first Arab, Middle Eastern and American simulcast radio show. Radio Baladi is broadcast every Friday morning on WNZK 690 AM from 8 until 9 Eastern Time on Good Morning Michigan with Layla Al-Husseini. Our call-in number 248-557-3300. And now, stay tuned for the best radio talk show on Arab and American issues with your host, Layla Al-Husseini.
You're listening to Radio Baladi on WNZK, heard every Friday from 8 to 9. Today's program brought to you in part by Ziad Brothers and Jumana K-Roos.
Ziad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Dana, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziad.com. That's www.ziad.com. Ziad, quality products from our family to yours.
If you get into a car accident, how will you pick up the pieces when you can't work, when the bills pile up? Who will help you? Call 866-YOUR-RIGHTS.
I called Jumana. She took care of everything. My medical bill, lost wages, and even a large settlement.
I am Jumana K-Roos, and I assure you that my team will not stop until you get the most for your rights.
If you've been in a car accident, call Jumana. 866-YOUR-RIGHTS.
مؤسسة الحياة للإغاثة والتنمية في مدينة ساوثفيلد في ولاية ميشيغان، المؤسسة الرائدة في العمل الإغاثي والإنساني. مؤسسة الحياة ومنذ 20 سنة تقدم العون للفقراء والمحتاجين والمتضررين بسبب الكوارث الطبيعية أو الحروب في شتى أنحاء العالم. كما تقوم مؤسسة الحياة بكفالة الأيتام والعوائل الفقيرة وحفر آبار المياه في مناطق الحاجة، وأيضا تقوم مؤسسة الحياة بتزويد المشافي والمستوصفات الصحية بالأدوية والمعدات الطبية وإنشاء مدارس وعيادات طبية في أقطار عديدة من العالم. ومؤسسة الحياة مرخصة للعمل في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، وجميع التبرعات معفاة من الضرائب. اتصلوا بمؤسسة الحياة للإغاثة والتنمية على رقم الهاتف المجاني 1-800-827-3543 أو زوروا موقعهم الإلكتروني على www.lifeusa.org.
انت وانا درنا Good morning to all of our listeners. Peace be with you all. I am Hanan Yahya, the program host for today. And we have a very interesting topic and a very not unusual topic for us today. The fruits of education, battling stigmas and norms, and sustaining community networks. Now, how does this play a role in our society today? How does it play in the Arab American community? And in specific, how does it play in the Yemeni American community, which we will discuss in our program today. We also have two fabulous program guests, Adeeb Mozip and Dr. Hanan Alhaddi, who both participated in the AAYSP Scholarship Gala last night for an evening of celebration of the outstanding community educators, community activists, school and organizations, and awarding 35 scholarship recipients for their dedicated achievements during their high school career. So what are your thoughts regarding the importance and fruits of education? You are welcome to call and participate in today's conversation on what you think and feel. Call in and use the hashtag Radio Baladi, RADIOBALADI. We'd like to hear your input on it. Our first program guest on the show today is Adeeb Mozip. Adeeb is a graduate of Henry Ford Community College with an Associate's in Business Administration in 2006, and then completed his bachelor's degree in accounting in 2008 from the University of Michigan. He received his Master's of Business Administration from Wayne State University in 2014, actually just a few weeks ago. He worked for the University of Michigan as an accountant at the Office of Vice President for Research, and then moved to Wayne State University's Research Department Administration. Currently, Mr. Mozip is a business manager at Wayne State University Library System. As an active community member in Dearborn, Michigan, he is involved with a number of organizations in areas of education and community organizing. He served in the local chapter board of the American Association of Yemeni Students and Professionals, and he is currently the president of the national board. Adeeb, are you on the line? Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Hanan, and thank you for having me this morning.
Adeeb, are you on the line?
Yes. Good morning, Hanan.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me this morning.
It is our pleasure. Thank you for coming on. So maybe you can talk to us a little bit about what this organization is all about, AAYSP, and how it relates to our topic for today, the fruits of education, battling stigmas and cultural norms, and sustaining community networks. So maybe if you can give us a brief purpose of the organization and your role as National Board President.
Sure. AAYSP main mission and goal is to promote education in the community. We work tirelessly to break the social culture barriers that prevent Yemeni Americans from attaining academic achievements. We are a national organization. We have 3 active chapters, one here in Michigan, one in California, one in the Washington, D.C. area. And we work to get the students acclimated with the higher education system, try to encourage them, to give them some tips and guidance on how to navigate the higher education. Also, we try to help parents to be the right aid and to help their kids succeed. Our members in the 3 chapters work throughout the year to organize university trips, workshops, essays, write-ups, workshops. We do scholarships events like we had yesterday, Scholarship Gala, to award high school students and undergrad students with a scholarship, but mostly to highlight their success and celebrate their accomplishment. So that's, I think, what we do. As a national board, we worked with each chapter to give them to accomplish their mission and fulfill where their goals are, and with strategic plannings, and to bring all the chapters together. So we're trying to build a national platform for our communities to interact, build relations, learn from other experience, and gain more insights of how we are transforming as a Yemeni American communities across the nation.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, basically, what is your take on the importance of education? Maybe the short-term and the long-term products. During yesterday's gala, I believe one of the guest speakers was talking about how education is an investment, and then others were talking about how it is the one step forward and the kind of only step forward for the Yemeni American community to make progress.
Absolutely. Actually, yesterday, Dr. Mazen Baisa put it in a great picture and really showed how education pay off more than any other investments, more than real estate, more than stock market, more than any investments you would do to yourself, to your family, is to invest in education. And his presentation actually was titled, "Is the tussle worth the hustle?" And he highlighted the importance of education from a financial perspective, where he showed how the median weekly earning of a bachelor degree is about $1,300, while the high school diploma only earns $626, almost half. He also showed how when economy tumble and we have high unemployment, how high people with the bachelor degree only, like in 2012, experience about 5% unemployment, while high school diploma only experience about 11%, and with no high school diploma, almost 15% of unemployment. And also he highlighted how education is very important from a community standpoint, how people with higher education tend to vote more, tend to volunteer more. From a family perspective, how people who are higher education tend to stay closer to their kids, read to them more, interact with them, have more time, have health insurance for them and their families, and how education is not only about financial and it's about both. It's about bringing, there is statistics out there that shows that more education bring you both a good and sustainable income, but also it bring you happiness to the family. While if you can have more income with no education, and we see that in people who get win the lotto, in a couple of years they're broke again and they're living miserably. But with sustainable and a healthy life environment, only comes with education, and that's AOSP goals. We are a grassroots community organization that touch the lives of many students, trying to show them the light in the end of the tunnels. I know the U.S., I work for a university, and I'm very involved in K-12 education. We meet with them almost monthly with our district and trying to get the community involved to make our education system better. Education system, as well as healthcare systems in the United States, are very excellent in innovation, but they have a poor distribution. When it comes to the mass, educating the mass, the bottom, we don't, as a whole system, we don't do a good job of that. There is a lot of improvement. We see now communities in Dearborn, Hamtramck, Detroit, where Yemeni populations are doing much better, are going to colleges much more, but we need that to increase. We need that to be a norm, not the exception. We need that to be education to be put at the top of the priorities. And I would say the most an important priority in our life, especially when we talk to our youth and our families, that should be the top thing that we need to talk about.
Yes, I agree. So in terms of the work that AAYSP does, it seems like the work and vision, just as you have mentioned, kind of apply to everyone's life. You as a parent, as a community activist, and not just as Adeeb Mozip National Board President. are like getting onto the grassroots level and working with people to make things happen. So I guess maybe this segues to the sustaining community networks and why that's important. Why is it important to connect with all of our resources and make use of them and meet and do all of these things? Some people might think it's kind of a waste of time, but other people don't, including yourself.
Absolutely, I agree. It's actually when AOSP, when we look to do an event, especially in the chapters, and we want to do an event or we have a problem we want to address it, the first thing you say, are there people previously attempted or doing right now the work to address this issue? And if there is, we just join them. We don't try to reinvent wheel or do our events. You see our members going to any organization, any events that it's happening or trying to reach out, because we believe that bringing all the resources together will have a huge and more effective impact on the community. We can use our resources where they best fit. When there is a time for politically election, and we join the organization that are doing so. When there's time to organize soup kitchens and help the needy people, we join that. When there is any events that it's in the community, we think it's better to getting all our resources centralized and do it in a way that sustain in the future and has the potential to grow each year.
Absolutely. And it seems like this organization is unique in its kind. You don't really see many organizations around working really on a focused population of Arab Americans and focusing on one topic, which is education, and doing everything. And it seems like the people that are leading it are practically just a bunch of college students, using their time to give back. And it doesn't seem like, like this high-profile organization, but that's where that's where it wants to go, I believe. But for now, they do tremendous work, led by just volunteers.
Absolutely, yes. It's the volunteers and the students, especially college students, are our assets, are the people that we envision in the future will be the leaders of the community. We envision that they will be the people that will take this organization and put it on the map in the nation. But for the time being, that's actually what we need. We need these people because they are the very effective tools that reach to their peers. If I bring a doctor who's like 60 years old to talk to students, they will listen for a minute or so, and they're gone in their imagination somewhere else. But if I listen, if a student who is recently graduated to 3 years and is very successful in pursuing higher education, and they're going after their goals, and bring them back to talk to high school students, it changed the environment. They learn a lot. They know. They connect, and also the students who are coming and volunteering. They love what they do. They do it because nobody from this organization is getting paid or getting anything in return. It gives the personal satisfaction and the love of helping others and making impact of the lives of other fellows, citizens in the community. And when we serve, our focus is the Yemeni population and Yemeni communities, but we serve all the communities. We had yesterday a very diverse event where you see all races and ethnicities and backgrounds where they are speaking, getting awarded. We represent our community. And we represent it in the education field. We are, I think our people that do the work are experts in what they do, very creative, and they do their best. And I think they've done a phenomenal job, and they in the way to excel each year. This year was exceptional. We marked the 10th anniversary of AOSP We reached, I think, a milestone of what we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
We changed the way that we are structured. We're more flexible now to change, to adapt, to get, and that's what we've been known for, is the creative, the innovator, grassroots community organization that each year, new faces, new blood, and new projects that tend to address the issues that are raised over time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that. If you can hold on just for a few minutes, we'll go on break and we'll bring you back for one final question and comment. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Betsy's Bridal and Formal, Michigan's largest selection of special occasion dresses. Exclusive bridal and cocktail fashions for formal engagements, proms, showers, pageants, mother of the bride and groom, and full bridal wear. Sizes 6 through 30. Betsy's has over 33 years in the bridal business. We promise you the best quality service and alterations. Betsy's Bridal and Formal is located at 6189 Haggerty Road in West Bloomfield. Call 248-669-9999. That's 248-669-9999.
New Concept Product and Design، رائدة إعداد وتجهيز المطاعم والمطابخ بالمعدات بشكل كامل. غرف التبريد والثلاجات، يمكننا مساعدتكم في الحصول على التمويل اللازم لمشروعكم، وكذا الحصول على الإجازات اللازمة من الدوائر الصحية. نخدمكم بخبرة 25 عاما. ناجي عبود صديقكم الدائم. للاتصال الهاتف رقم 248-442-9292 248-442-9292 وتماما على 33900 West 8 Mile Farmington Hills. للمزيد من التفاصيل زيارة الموقع الإلكتروني www.nuconceptproducts.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to today's show on Radio Baladi. Please participate in today's conversation. We have a very interesting topic, the fruits of education, battling stigmas and cultural norms, and sustaining community networks. We have on our show today Adeeb Mozip, our program guest, and we will end our conversation with him with a final question and comment. Adeeb, are you still on the line?
Yes.
So we talked about AAYSP. We talked about the amazing work that it does, and the future that it wants to achieve. So if you could kind of just send a shout out to everyone that's listening, or if you had the opportunity to talk to everyone in the community, what would you say regarding AAYSP, regarding the work that it does, and regarding just the needs in the community that we try to satisfy through the work that it does, regarding education, regarding breaking barriers, and regarding sustaining community networks? Maybe you can just give a blurb about everything that you would say to this community.
Well, what I will say to the community is that if anyone in the community want the best interest of the community, want to serve the best interest of the community, there is one issue that I think unites all of us. That one issue that can bring us all together, one issue that can transform us, and it's education. No other issue in the community will bring us all together, will unite us, and will move us forward in a very fast-paced only education. And I would advise everyone to invest in their families education, to invest in their I will advise everyone who has time to volunteer in their school to go back, and even if you don't have kids in school, go there and put a couple hours out of your week to volunteer with the school that you see around you. If you have the money, support the organizations that do the work and help the youth and the students. If you are an organization that want to help, reach out to AAYSP, and I think they will be willing to partnership to do any work that can benefit the organization. I think in terms of AAYSP future, we have a very clear and goal and ahead of us. We have a goal that was developed to move us to 2000. That was developed last year to move us to 2023, with a set of goals and projects for every year and 5 years and 10 years from now. And we think that we have, as a community, a bright future. Our best time are yet to come. Our best time when these young, like the 35 students that were awarded with scholarship yesterday, will harvest their hard work in 5-6 years to become engineers, to become accountants, to become doctors, to become lawyers, to become radio show hosts, to become journalists. And that's, I think, we still have, as a community, we still have a lot of bright days to come ahead of us. We need guests to stay focused and helplines for the people who need help right now, to guide them, so everyone, even for the community, even the attitude count, the comments that you give to young students and the expectations that you set for them counts. So I'll advise everyone to just be positive and think that we have great talent in the community that we can bring all together to make us one of the brightest communities in this nation. And I think this nation has a lot to offer to us, and we have a lot to give back as well. So I hope that AOSP will move forward with its mission and activities, and everybody will have the chance and the time to join us and join and volunteer in any way you see fit. Have your own personal project, bring it and do it. I think you will see the support from the community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for those wise words and final words to the community. I think those really hit home, and they mean a ton to everyone who is going to listen to this podcast or is listening right now as we speak. I thank you again for coming on the show, and I thank you for the work that you do with AAYSP, and I hope that it persists with a strong passion that continues for the rest of the progress in the Yemeni American community.
Thank you, Hanan. Thank you for your work and leadership. Thank you for having me this morning. I appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you so much. So we just had a conversation with Adeeb Mozip, who talked a lot about this issue, kind of went in a bit deep, and we're about to go in even deeper with our next program guest, Dr. Hanan Alhaddi. She will be calling in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, we're talking about education. We're talking about battling cultural norms, and we're talking about sustaining community networks. But why is that important? You might think, why is that critical to the progress of society? Why is even education? Why do we even need to go get educated to begin with? Well, let's see. According to the Liz Crust article site, education for all means has been the most important debate in all stages of society, progress and development. This build you in the question as to why everyone is running behind education. What is it that makes us bind to education and makes it to the center of attraction to all of the aristocrats, lawmakers, parents, and elders? Education is not about any marks on your standard. It's about knowledge and how well you are aware of the happenings around you. A person who is awakened knows what's best for him or her, knows the difference between right or wrong, and that's when he is known to be educated. So we see here that education not only means that you have a degree in your hand and that you are educated under the term, but you are very aware, you are awakened, and you are living with stability and happiness. So that's basically kind of just a glimpse into why it is very important. Our next program guest on the show is Dr. Hanan Alhaddi. Dr. Hanan Alhaddi completed her bachelor's degree in industrial and manufacturing engineering in 2004 from Wayne State University. She enrolled in the A-grade program. She completed her first master's degree in industrial engineering with concentration in quality management in 2005. Shortly after graduation, Hanan started working for Johnson Controls as a manufacturing engineer. She was then promoted to an advanced manufacturing engineer. During her employment, she completed her second master's degree in engineering management. Her second promotion at Johnson Controls was as to product financial manager. In 2013, Dr. Haddi completed her doctorate degree in business administration with a focus on strategic planning and differentiation from Lawrence Tech University. So currently, she works in global manufacturing at Ford Motor Company. Upon completion of the strategic management graduate program at Harvard, Hanan plans to advance her career into strategic management at Ford. Dr. Al-Haddi is an adjunct professor and an academic published author. Her interest in the academic field guides her effort in academic research and teaching. So just by this bio, you would know that we have a very, very extraordinary guest on the show. Dr. Al-Haddi, are you on the line?
Yes, Hanan. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. So we just had a conversation with Adeeb Mozip, who is the president of the National Board in AAYSP, regarding why it's important for an organization like AAYSP to exist and the work that it does and why it's very important. But I really want to indulge in the conversation about the fruits of education just a bit deeper. So, in general, what do you think education means to you?
To make a very long story short, education to me is the foundation I use to build everything else on. It really is. It's education, like you mentioned, is more than just earning a degree. Education is an empowerment. It broadens your perspective. It opens a lot of doors for you. It just improves your skills. It truly is a foundation. The sky is the limit in terms of what you can build on when your foundation is actually education.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, in terms of the Yemeni American community, how do you think this directly correlates with that community and the struggles that it faces?
For the Yemeni community, and I'm sure a lot of people know, knowledge and education is really strongly linked to us. There's a hadith Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. It's been, mentioned times and times again. Al-ilm yamani wal-hikma yamaniya. So there it goes. Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, he really truly linked our culture to education, to knowledge, but the Yemeni community seems to disconnect itself from that. And I think, yes, the Yemeni community, especially in the United States, is facing a struggle. They're facing a problem in terms of their perspective when it gets to education. I'm not sure if you want me to get into why I think that's the case.
Please do. Yes, elaborate, please.
From as a member in the of the Yemeni community, the biggest struggle is that for some reason our Yemeni community associated education with being liberal and a negative connotation. In other words, if you're going to go to school, you're being liberal. You're not modest. You're not conservative, and this is such a false perception to have. The other struggle is that we don't seem, as the community Yemeni doesn't seem to place a lot of emphasis on education. For some reason, we're focused on short-term gains and short-term goals, as opposed to working for 4 or 5 years to get a bachelor's degree that you could get a professional job with. So between the negative connotation when it gets to liberation, and the short-term goals, I think, the Yemeni community is facing a struggle, and it's really about time that we change that.
Absolutely, I completely agree. So, what do you think are the major cultural barriers in terms of gender, for the difference between how accessible a college education is to a woman versus a man in the Yemeni American community, and why it's that way?
In the Yemeni American community, there is this. It's a big gap in terms of the accessibility of education to a female versus a male. For a female in the Yemeni community, the priority and the primary role of her is to be married, as we all know, to have kids, and to be a stay-home mother. If she fulfills this duty, then this is it for her. Education becomes not even a secondary goal, and I think growing up at, in a typical Yemeni family, this is the perception, this is the mindset the females are surrounded by. For a male, it's probably a bit more accessible, but let's not lose sight of the short-term goals. The typical Yemeni family does want their son to, hurry up, finish high school, and either help out in a family store or work at a gas station or valet, so you can get a income quicker. So is it super accessible to Yemeni males? No. Is it a little bit more accessible than females? I think so.
Absolutely, yeah. So it seems like in the community, these norms are changing, and the work that AAYSP does and other organizations, and just by role models, and not to be biased or anything, but people like you, they serve as role models for these younger people, and it seems like the norms are being broken gradually because of these little things that are happening within the environment.
Yes, I completely agree. To me, the way I see it is like three main components to actually viewing this issue. I see the parents, I see the kids, the students that are graduating, and I see the role of being the role of a role model. In terms of the parents, the best thing that we can do, their rules are set, their ways are set, so the best thing we can do is just to continue talking to them, to continue having that dialogue and just keep talking to them, keep, convincing them, persuading them to, about the benefits of education. The bigger focus, though, should be on the kids, exactly like the AAYSB is doing. If we focus on that generation, if we support them, if we give them all the help we can, encourage them to go into the academia and graduate with bachelor's and graduate higher education, then that's great. And then there is the third component is role models and the power of being inspired. You inspire me. Hanan Yahya, you do inspire me. I still get inspired by people, and if I inspire one person, then this is a lot more than I could bargain for. Yes, to have a role model, you have no idea. It has a tremendous impact on your enthusiasm and on your energy. If you see someone that you look up to, someone that you think to yourself, yes, I would like to be, like that person in a few years. It gives you that boost. It gives you a great amount of energy to keep, to help you keep moving forward.
Yes. Just to segue a bit to another portion of this conversation, it seems like it's not just the Yemeni American community's fault, I guess you can say, for the not the lack of, but the slow progress that we're having in our community. But I think there's also other factors that are playing a role here. Our school systems, for example, the cities which we choose to live in, just the resources that exist in the community. Sometimes that correlates with how fast the progress moves. I compare sometimes the Yemeni Americans that live in a suburban city compared to an inner city. And coming from myself, I'm from Detroit, so I would know best about how that plays a role. And I just feel overall it's more than just one factor, and everything else kind of helps to slow it down. Do you agree? Do you think that there are other factors that are playing a role here?
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think that's unique to the Yemeni community. I think this is this happens everywhere with all communities and all cultures. Yes, the economics, the surrounding factors, the type of cities. If we were in the Silicon Valley, people are a lot more education oriented, as opposed to maybe Metro Detroit or some of the some of the areas. So yes, it's more than just the family and culture. It's the school system. It's really the professional and career prospects. They're open and available in that state or city. So yeah, it's more than just one factor.
Yes. So that makes a lot of sense. Not to call it this, but I think this way, in my own opinion. It's a disease, and I think I mentioned that yesterday, that it's contagious and it's thriving. But what do you think is the most effective medication for this disease, and how can we prevent it from growing? And because we talked about starting in the household, working with communities, and kind of connecting all that together, but in essence, what do you think is one thing off the top of your head, or two things, or three things, but what major things that you think a student should do to cross those barriers and connect with resources and actually achieve what they want to achieve?
Sure. First of all, I completely agree with you. Yes, it's a disease, and if it keeps on spreading, we all are going to lose at the end. So in terms of what we can do, again, and that's just my opinion from what I saw, just focus on the main two things is the parents and the students. The parents, it's really crucial to keep an open dialogue with the parents. Just keep talking to them. At least mitigate the risk of them playing like a barrier between their kids and education. So by opening the dialogue between the parents and you as in a supporting organization, that's crucial. The number two is the students. Students needs, and that's not unique to the Yemeni students. Students everywhere need a lot of help. They need counseling. They need guidance. They need role models. They need to be inspired. So if we, there's a lot of help if we help them, if we provide assistance in terms of counseling. And look, you're not narrowed down to 2 or 3 fields, but look, you can be successful in other fields, in other majors. Look what success does to other people. Look what it, help them visualize their future. Help them just picture their success a few years from now. And it's really important to put things in perspective. If you graduate, if you work hard for 4 or 5 years, and you graduate with, let's say, a bachelor's degree in engineering or in education, this is how your life would be like. This is the type of job you will have. This is because it really, like I said, it's not just an income. It really broadens your perspective. Versus graduate from high school, don't pursue college education, and just do a part-time job for 5 years. in those 5 years, compare your life. Do you want to be, do you want to be in scenario A or scenario B? Have them see the distinction between being educated and not being educated. Sometimes I really feel that a lot of the students don't continue to college because they really don't see their life in 5 or 10 years. They just see their life on day-to-day basis, and that's really a problem. If you don't picture your future, if you don't visualize your future in 5 or 10 years, and it's not something you look forward to, then you're not going to be motivated actually to move forward. So it's really important to work with the students to, like I said, to have them just visualize their future.
Thank you so much. If you can hold with us just for a few minutes, we're going to take a break, and then we'll be back for a couple final questions and comments. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Dr. Al-Zuhaili specializes in diabetes and endocrinology and has been conducting research for over 12 years. Right now, there are several clinical studies actively enrolling for both adult and pediatric patients with type 2 diabetes. Under Dr. Al-Zuhaili's care, participants in the clinical research trials receive free lab work, medical procedures, medical supplies, and medications to assist in their treatment. Qualified participants are also compensated for their time and travel in addition to receiving top care for their diabetes treatment and control. The research department is equipped with experienced and friendly staff who will work to manage patient care and schedule accommodations. Please contact Al-Zuhaili Medical Consultants at 1331 Monroe Street in Dearborn. Visit alzuhailidiabetes.com and call 313-581-8903. 313-581-8903.
المحامي ستيفن لجانا المحامي القدير في الهجرة والتجنس يعلن افتتاحه لمكتبه الواقع في مدينة ديربون وتماما على 5300 شيفر رود. المحامي لجانا لديه خبرة طويلة في قضايا الهجرة والتجنس، قضايا الترحيل، يتعامل أيضا مع قضايا اللجوء من داخل وخارج الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية وأيضا جميع أنواع الفيز. المحامي لجانا لديه مكاتب منتشرة في العديد من الولايات الأمريكية، بوسطن، نيويورك، واشنطن وميشيغان. لجميع استفساراتكم القانونية اتصلوا بالمحامي لجانا على الرقم 313-945-0022 313-945-0022. جميع الاستشارات مجانية لمستمعي صباح الخير ميشيغان.
Welcome back, all of our listeners, to today's show. We are talking about the fruits of education, combating cultural norms and barriers, and sustaining community networks, and why all of that is very important. We had two fabulous guests on the show today, Adeeb, Mozip, and we have another program guest who we were just talking to a few minutes ago, Dr. Hanan Alhaddi. Are you still on the line, Dr. Hanan?
Yes.
Thank you. So maybe we can now talk about just in general, the progress of the Yemeni community in comparison to the other Arab American communities. And generally, I do not like to compare, but I think it's very important because there are things that other communities are doing that we are not. And I really want to address these things. And this does not mean in any way that one community is inferior to another, but just in some cases, especially in regards to education, it seems like other communities are just doing a bit of a better job. Can we just talk about that just for a few minutes? Maybe what's your take on that? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And where can we go from there?
So we'll focus on only the education area.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I don't think it's hard to see that other communities, the surrounding communities, are making slightly better progress in terms of education attainment, as opposed to when we compare them to the Yemeni community. having, worked and having neighbors of other communities, I can tell you that the biggest difference is a typical, Arab Muslim non-Yemeni household would place education on their to-do list. To get a college education is on their to-do list, and that mindset is cascaded, to the children. Yes, overall, when you compare us to other, European and American communities, overall, I think we are less keen on education, but the Yemeni community, I think, is the least keen on education. I don't think it has any religious reasons to it. I just think it's just a combination of certain cultural norms that makes other communities just more keen to on education. That's my opinion.
Yes. Thank you. So we talked about everyone except you and your story, and I feel that your story is very important because you speak with passion, and your perspective is very is important. It's valuable. In terms of your own story, how do you think that you became so successful, mashallah, and what were the key factors in making that happen in your own life?
I don't think my story is anything special. The only thing that the first thing that I think about when I think of my story in the academic area is I don't think there's anything any student could say that I can't relate to from my experience. I've been to the highest highs and the lowest lows. I've been a 4.0 student. I've had to retake classes. So I've really, I've spent many years in the academia. So I've seen it all. I felt it all. That's why when I talk about, making progress and overcoming obstacles, it's not an easy journey, but it's a very fruitful one. You will encounter obstacles. When things go well, when things go according to your plan, things are easy, and you don't need to stop and think about your abilities and your capabilities of achieving your goals. But when you encounter obstacles, one after the other, that's when you have to it really makes you question your ability. Am I good enough to actually achieve what I set out to achieve? It's really, my story is about making progress. You just need to set a goal, just have in your mind that you want to go to a higher stage, and then just keep working towards that goal. One of the key success factors, I have a great supportive family. We are education-oriented family. I come from a family of doctors and journalists, so that also helps. But it's really a personality. It's a personal drive. It's what you want and how strongly you want it.
Yes, I completely agree. So just to kind of finalize this conversation and conclude, what would be your advice to the community if you had a chance to speak to everyone that you want to speak to, all of the students, all of the families, all of the communities, and the schools as well? What would you say to each one of them regarding the importance of education and why their role is key to helping the students get to wherever they want to go?
I would want to tell them this. The Yemeni community has been in the States for about 30 years. Is that about right? For 30 years?
Yeah, I'd say around that, yeah.
Okay, so imagine if all the people that graduated from high school, over the course of, let's say you graduate when you're 18, so 30 minus 18. For the past 12 or 15 years, imagine if the enrollment rate in college for the Yemeni American community was 90%. In 15 years, in that course of time, imagine how many lawyers and doctors and educators we would have had. Imagine the impact of all of that and on our community. It's tremendous. It's huge. But we let time pass, and we always go back to square one, and we always have to go back and talk to how important education is, when we actually could be using the time to send our kids to school, encourage them to go into higher education. We really have to consider the time and all the great benefits that we could have had, in those years. But that's done. We have our generation now that's graduating from high school. It's again, role models, be inspired, just realize the difference, realize the impact of education on your life. Don't think of what a bachelor's degree can do for me today. Well, because today you don't have it. Just think of it when you have it in 4 or 5 years. And then 5 years after that. And just look for examples. Look for examples of people that have accomplished academically and professionally. Look at their lives and what they can afford. Look at their, their lifestyle, and look at someone who has a high school education. Look at their prospects. The prospects for both people are completely different. There are a lot more open doors for the college educated person. We cannot say the same about the high school educated person.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for all of those words of wisdom, your valuable input on this conversation, and for graciously coming on the show and participating in today's conversation. Thank you so much, Dr. Hanan, and we hope to have you on here again, inshallah, regarding this topic and other topics.
Thank you for having me.
In the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, we talked about this conversation in depth. We evaluated all of the factors that play a role in the importance of education in the general community, but also in the Yemeni American community in specific. And the story of Yemeni Americans is truly one to know and one to learn from. The lessons that you can take away are crucial, and I hope that by listening to this and to these conversations and to these very, very successful and phenomenal individuals on today's show, that you would probably take this away with you to your communities, to your schools, to your classrooms, to your businesses, everywhere, because this applies to every individual in our community, and it plays a significant role. So maybe we can take a break and come back for just a final commentary. Thank you so much. Hold on. We are back, and I thank you all for participating in today's conversation regarding the fruits of education, battling stigmas and cultural norms, and sustaining community networks. Thank you all for listening, and I hope that you took away as much as I have from today's conversations. This will be continued. Thank you all. Peace be with you.